Hi there, it's Kathy from Peonies and Lilacs, and today I wanted to talk to you about drying out flowers. So I went through my garden a couple weeks ago and I picked a bunch of flowers that I knew would dry well that I could use for fall and winter arrangements or flower crowns, wreaths, all kinds of stuff. So the process for doing that was, first of all, cutting what you would like to dry. So I have a lot of Gomphrena in my yard, and sometimes it gets to be even more than what I can use fresh. So you cut your Gomphrena. Here's the stem of it, and you could remove the leaves if you wanted. Probably it's the best way to do it, but I just leave them on because they're going to dry out anyway. It might make them dry faster because there isn't as much material to dry, but it really doesn't seem like much of a problem to me. So I would take them and I would make bunches of them like so, and then I would take a rubber band and kind of bundle them together. It's like a super big rubber band. I don't even know where I got these. Bundle them up. I leave a little bit like this so I have a loop, and then I will go into my mudroom closet that has no windows and rarely has a light on, and I'll hang these up, and in 2 to 3 weeks they'll be dried out enough that I can cut the little flower heads off and I can use them in all different ways. So let me show you what they look like when they're all dried out. So I have this beautiful bag, but it's full of dried out Gomphrena. So as you can see, I've already cut the flowers off of the stems, and they are just these soft, these crispy little flower heads, perfect for making all kinds of things. So now when you have your fresh Gomphrena, it already is pretty dry because that's the texture of the flower, but you can tell just by feeling it that these still have some moisture in them. These, you can hear, are like papery. So pretty simple process as long as you have a place that's cool and dark and won't have a lot of light, and they won't be disrupted. Let them dry out for 2 to 3 weeks and you can go ahead and cut them. So I'm using Gomphrena. I'm going to test out goldenrod. I don't know if it works or not. I do have some goldenrod in arrangements that when they've gotten to this stage where the flowers are completely gone and it's just the little pods of seeds, they look the exact same after weeks in one of my arrangements. So I'm assuming that these will dry out nicely. So I'm gonna give it a try. I'm gonna do a few hanging and I'm gonna do a few in water and see what I get. I'll update you when I figure that one out. I also have, oops, this little guy, I forgot him. Well, this is good that I have this. So this is hydrangea. This is a little lime hydrangea, and I cut this stem and I want to dry it because it's in such a pretty stage. It's gotten kind of papery. It's starting to take on its rosy color for the fall. So I am just going to pull my leaves off and then get all those leaves. Place it in a vase of water. Sounds counterintuitive to dry them out in water, but if you didn't dry them out in water, they wouldn't maintain their color. So if you just let them dry out in a vase 2 to 3 weeks, and you'll have a nice preserved hydrangea bloom. And you can do that with like a big leaf mop head hydrangea. You can do that with a hydrangea paniculata, like a limelight. So this is, let me grab this. This is my drying station here. So I've got a ton of blooms in here. Now, if you were drying them so that you could have them in all their glory, looking beautiful in the perfect shape that they were in, you don't want to crowd them because you want them to dry, maintaining the shape that you started with. So I'm not using these to display as a bloom that has been preserved. I am using it to cut pieces to decorate flower crowns with. So I don't care if they kind of lose their beautiful shape of the flower head, as long as I can still cut what I need. So that's up to you to decide what you're going to do with that. So I'm going to pull this over and let's see if I can aim this down a little. I'm just going to stick this guy in here, make sure the stem is submerged, and for now it is going to be a beautiful little arrangement on my counter. And then what will happen is, these are ones that I've done this already with. These are dried out, you can hear it, but the color is still there. They have the beautiful purples and greens. Drying out, look at me, I don't even have the camera up. Drying out does bring out the imperfections of petals, so be selective in the ones you choose. If you pick something that has a lot of damage to it already and it's really started to turn brown, you're gonna see that more in your finished product. So for example, this one had some beautiful, like look at the purple in that. Isn't that beautiful? But back here, you can see there are a few brown spots, and you can easily just pull those out, no big deal. Especially, like I said, I'm gonna be using these in flower crowns, so I can just be selective about which pieces go on my flower crowns. But I mean, this sat in water for, oh geez, a couple weeks, and they just went from having moisture in them to just being, you can hear it, just papery. And the other way to do it is silica gel. I've never done that before. I feel like if you have water, why not just use that? But I think silica gel might give it a more vibrant color in the preservation process. So that's up to you, personal preference. So yeah, I'm doing goldenrod, hydrangea, strawflower. I mean, strawflower sounds like it's dried out as soon as it blooms, but so you can take some that have already opened, you could take ones that are more closed, you know, whatever you're looking to do, and it'd be really pretty on a flower crown, don't you think? I have some more. This is truffle of pink, Gomphrena. It has cute little yellow tips, almost like little fireworks. So those look really neat. Dry those out. Here is a strawflower that has really kind of done its thing. But the thing about dried flowers is that you're not expecting perfection because it's a dried flower. It's not a fresh cut flower that you would like to have looking perfect. So it's okay to have, you know, kind of a wonky looking bloom. It adds character, especially on something like a flower crown that is just meant to look wild and beautiful. Let's see, I have some agastache, which I hadn't considered drying, but I found an old arrangement that needed to be kind of dismantled. It was not in its best shape, and everything in it had died, but some of the agastache had preserved itself the way that hydrangea does. So I'm just gonna give it a try. I don't know how it'll go, but I'm gonna dry it hanging upside down, just like I do with everything else, bundled up, and we'll see. I'll report back after I see how my agastache grows. It smells minty though, it's nice. I think, oh, here's some other, this is agastache Rosy Posy, and then I don't know the name of this one because it was gifted to me, but this is maybe something more similar to what you would expect to see in agastache, which is like more of the purple. Pretty cute. So, and the agastache that dried, it stayed very vibrant, which was awesome. So, so that's that. So this is a great time to get out there. Look for hydrangeas that are already starting to dry on their own on the plant, that have more of a papery feel, that have started to take on their fall color. Look for, you know, strawflower that you think maybe you wouldn't use in a fresh arrangement, but it still looks beautiful. Something like this. And, you know, you can go ahead and dry that. This one's really already dry. It's ready to go. And anything else in your yard that you feel like you want to try, go for it, because that's how you learn. That's how I learn. Everything I'm doing is self-discovery in terms of what is out here in my yard and what I want to give a try to add to arrangements, wreaths, and so on. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little helpful video, and you can find more content like this on Facebook, Peonies and Lilacs, on YouTube, Peonies and Lilacs, and on Instagram, Peonies and Lilacs Design. All right, I'll see you in the garden.